We are on chapter 45 of Save Me a Seat after the disastrous incident in the classroom and the leeches. This is Ravi. The smell of vomit is overpowering. Girls are screaming, Emily Mooney is crying, and Dylan Samreem is laughing his head off. Mrs. Beam tells me to return to my seat. Then she asks us to take out our copies of Bud Not Buddy. We'll go to the library and read until the custodian has a chance to clean up. When we return, we can continue with our game. Poor Curryhead, says Dylan as I take my seat. His speech was so bad the audience puked. I ignore him and pull out my copy of Bud Not Buddy. That's when I noticed a folded up scrap of paper lying on the desk beside the jar of leeches. I unfold it and it reads, "Beware, do not touch the jar. Trust me, Joe." It has been a day full of surprises, and it seems there'll be one more. We read that already, but that's okay. 46. As we line up and start down the hall toward the library, my stomach is in a knot. This is the chapter called Joe. Can I really pull this off? Dylan Samreem is up ahead, sticking his tongue out at Lucy Mulligan while she ignores him. Ravi hasn't said anything to me, but I know he read the note. I saw him. I hope I'm right about Dylan, but the closer we get to the library, the more I wonder if I was crazy to think that my plan would work. And then it happens. The first domino falls. Oops, I forgot my book, Dylan says. Dylan tells Mrs. Beam, "I'll be right back." Here goes, I think. This is it. As I turn and watch Dylan walk down the hall, I think about all the mean things he's done. Not just to me, but to Ravi. Zebras have to stick together. I want Ravi to feel the way I felt when I saw the double M&M sitting in the bowl. As I watch Dylan Samreem duck into room 506, all I can do is hope that after all these years, I know him well enough as I think I do. I cross my fingers and begin the final countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No! The door hangs open and Dylan comes flying out of room 506 like a bat out of you-know-where. There's a terrified look on his face and a big wet stain spreading across the front of his pants. I can't believe it. It worked. When I saw Dylan eyeballing those leeches earlier, I knew it was only a matter of time before he'd try to swipe them. And like everything else he's taken, I knew where they would end up. His pants. Dylan is jumping up and down, swatting at the front of his pants until finally the glass jar falls out the bottom of one of his pant legs, and rolls across the floor. Talk about an epic sequence. We go one more chapter. Ravi. What kind of fool puts leeches in his pants? Loosening the lid had been a capital idea, nothing less than pure genius. Dylan is running around like a headless chicken. Then the bully of Albert Einstein Elementary School drops his pants and runs screaming down the hall in his starry underwear. Brilliant, I say, a secret prayer, and I thank my grandfather and to the poor innocent leeches who sacrificed their life for this important occasion. Later, after Dylan Samreem called his mother to come pick him up, and the cleaner had finished wiping up Emily Mooney's vomit, we returned to the classroom. Would you like to finish telling us your story, Ravi? Mrs. Beam asked. No, thank you, I say. I don't need to show up anymore. I'm not like Dylan Samreem, and I never will be. He says that to himself. I believe it's your turn to guess, Ravi, Mrs. Beam says, holding the basket out to me. I close my eyes and wish, and I pull out a card. There is more to me than meets the eye, I read. Ah, said Mrs. Beam. Now that's a tough one, especially for you, Ravi, because you're new here. Would you like to choose another card instead? Something that might be easier to guess? I shake my head. This is the card I wanted to get, the one I had wished for. I carry it over and set it down beside the glass dish with the blue candy in it. It's Joe, I say. Joe nods and lifts his head up and looks at me. I smile and he smiles back. His eyes are brown, the color of cinnamon sticks Amma brought with her from Bangalore. How in the world did you ever guess? Asked Mrs. Beam impressed. It was easy, I tell her. These candies have 4 layers. Most people assume there are only 3, but assumptions are often wrong. There is more to them than meets the eye. Did you learn that in India? Asks Mrs. Beam. No, I tell her. I learned it here from Joe. So, that was a good section of reading. Dylan Sam Ream kind of got what's coming to him.